Today I'll talk about the shield of faith. Okay, let's go to the Roman military armor of the Roman soldiers during the Roman Empire. They had a breastplate, they had a helmet. The helmet protects their skull and also their ears, but the helmet was built in such a way that you could still see in front of you, because that's very important when you're in combat. They had a sword. They had sandals or shoes that were built to walk long distances. That's also important in ancient warfare. But then you have the shield. The shield also carried the emblem of the Roman Empire, which often was an eagle. But nevertheless, the shield is not the most important part of the armor, but it is a very significant part of the armor. Because look, I don't care how well trained you are in combat. Let's say we go back to the ancient times during the Roman Empire. I don't care how skilled a Roman soldier was. He cannot, by his own strength and with his own armor, protect himself against attacks from all those other opponents. That's why the Roman troops operated in groups, and in those groups they used their shields. How? Rocks, objects, just random objects like vases or glass. We also have javelins, spears. Are those the same? Okay, well, anyway, you also have arrows. All that stuff was used in ancient warfare. So that's why they needed to have a shield in order to be protected against such attacks. Because most of the time when the Roman troops, I'm not talking about cavalry, those that were on horses, I'm talking about infantry. Most of the time when they were in battle, they used their shields as a defense. Of course they attacked with their swords, but their shields were very important. With their shields they could keep even horses at a distance. If you, in the sense that if you would have a group of Roman troops and you had a small cavalry of the enemy coming, they could use their shields to hinder the riders on the horses. So the shield was very important. Now when you go towards today, in SWAT teams, they still use tactics that the Romans used. I mean, for real, you can go on YouTube, you can do this, you can look at the Korean SWAT team and how they operated during a riot. They use the same strategies and tactics as the Romans. Okay, because those were very effective. And even till this day, the military, SWAT teams, the police, they all use it. One thing the SWAT team is known about is their shield. Their shield is part transparent, so they can see through it, but they need it. Why? Because today they have guns. Yes, they wear a bulletproof vest, but that's not sufficient. They have the shield, so that if someone shoots, it comes on the shield, not onto them. And during riots, civilians tend to throw rocks, chairs, whatever, to the SWAT team. Now, why am I speaking about shields? Again, I want to refer to the shield of faith. In Ephesians chapter 6, the Apostle Paul, is Holy Spirit speaking through the Apostle Paul, speaks about spiritual warfare and how we need to put on the full armor of God. And the most important part of that armor is the shield of faith. Look, it doesn't, for example, I just said about the ancient Roman soldiers, and I'll now say it about the modern SWAT teams. I don't care if you're an officer that's well trained in a SWAT team. You cannot go out there as a member of a SWAT team without a shield. You can have a stick with you. You can even have a gun with you. You can have a bulletproof vest. You could have spent hours through military training. But when you're called by the government to go out and to combat a riot and to calm down a situation, you need your shield. Because if you don't have a shield, sooner or later you're wounded or you can even be killed. So this is something very serious. In a same manner, the shield of faith, it's something believers tend to forget. Now, what's the shield of faith? What does it symbolize? As a human being, you're a spirit being with a soul living in a body. So you are not the body, but you're in the body. The body is a part of you, but you are not the body. As a spirit being, you generate energy. So you have an energy field around you. In the world, it's called the aura. Alright, that's the energy field you have around you. Now, you generate energy, though, because you, as spirit being, your thoughts generate a vibration. And that vibration is either in agreement with Christ or it's not in agreement with Christ, and then it is negative and it generates waste energy. And I'm not going to explain again what waste energy is. You can watch my previous summaries to find out. Just understand this. Your energy field can either repel or attract dark clouds. Dark clouds are concentrations of negative energy that linger around. Those are not demon spirits themselves, but just negativity that hangs around. Now look, when you are a believer, when you have the Holy Spirit in you, demons are going to assault the Holy Spirit that's in you. Alright? They're going to riot against you because you have the Spirit of God in you. And those demons they will work through other people. They can work through drug dealers, can work through mentally ill patients, they can work through assassins, or they can just work through a regular Joe or a regular Jane out there. They work through other people, but the attacks are real. And the attacks can even lead to physical violence, physical injuries, and physical death. This is something serious. So as a believer, you ought to have, your shield ought to be strong. And what does the shield refer to? Your aura, your energy field. When you are in agreement with Christ, when your thoughts are when you are renewed in your mind, your energy field becomes strong as the firmament. It becomes very thick and very strong. And this is what will hinder psychic attacks from harming you. Because even though demons work through other people, many of the attacks that you will encounter during this lifetime will be initiated by the bad thinking of other people. Because remember, evil spirits, they need waste energy in order to operate. And the waste energy is generated by the thinking of people that are not in agreement with Christ. Unfortunately, there are also some believers who are not in agreement with Christ. For example, when people decide to have a bad opinion about you and meditate negative about you, they are generating waste. And if they do this regularly, they're basically forming negative energy bolts around them, and they're shooting them out to you. And those demons, they are picking up that heavy energy and they are delivering it towards you. So just like you have someone from a SWAT team using their shields to defend themselves against rocks being thrown at them by rioters, the same way, if you have people that are meditating negatively about you, frequently they are they are throwing energy rocks at you. And when you are in agreement with Christ, your thinking operates in agreement with the gospel. What we call the aura, your energy field, is so strong that they basically, those energy bombs, they collapse the moment they reach you. That does not mean that you won't notice anything. You will notice that something's going on, but you're safe. Because what happens if there's a psychic attack and you're not in agreement with Christ? You don't wear the shield of faith. What happens is that energy bomb is going to affect you directly. You're going to feel bad, you're going to feel depressed, and you will think it's you. You will, without being aware of it, you'll agree with what's happening, thinking it's you, but it's not you. And that waste energy that has collapsed onto you is now defiling your own energy field, which in itself will attract other bad energies. It can even make you physically sick and manifest physical sickness inside of you, or it can even kill you if the quantity of psychic bombs are high. So spiritual warfare is not a joke. It's not just something you do to feel better about yourself. It's not just something you do in church. Spiritual warfare is the daily reality. And when you are a believer, you become a target. So better wear your shield of faith. Because, look, I shouldn't even have to make this video. If someone is in a SWAT team, they know they have to carry their shield with them. Imagine this, you're in a SWAT team. And there's a riot in, let's say, in London. There's a riot, oh no, let's say Amsterdam. There's a riot in Amsterdam. And 200 men are summoned throughout the Netherlands to go out and battle the rioters to bring calm into the city. And you are one of those officers. But, hold on a minute. You guys are about to leave in the van, in a truck towards Amsterdam. Then your superior tells you, hold on a minute, Jack, let's say your name is Jack. Jack, what are you doing? Jack is saying, look, we're called to Amsterdam. There's something going on. We need to deal with it. The superior says, okay, Jack, that's true, but... And Jack says, sir, with all due respect, we need to hurry up. I've got my stick, I've got my gun, I've got my taser, I've got my bulletproof vest, I've got my helmet. Well, sir, you're holding us up. Then the superior says, Jack, where is your armor? And Jack becomes frustrated. He's almost losing it, saying, here's my armor. And then the superior picks up one of the shields and says, now you have an armor. Look, I don't care how much insight you have in the word, how much spiritual insight you have. If you're not in agreement with Christ, if you're not renewed in your mind, that means if you don't carry the shield of faith, well, you are in big trouble. And you're also bringing those around you big trouble. So, I'm going to end this recording now. Put on the full armor of God. That includes the shield of faith. Be at peace. Today I'll talk about the shield of faith. Okay, let's go to the Roman military armor of the Roman soldiers during the Roman Empire. They had a breastplate. They had a helmet. And the helmet protects their skull and also their ears. But the helmet was built in such a way that you could still see in front of you, because that's very important when you're in combat. They had a sword. They had sandals or shoes that were built